Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. So for this video, I want to respond to some viewer feedback that I've received on both YouTube and Instagram. And the specific comment is, if you had to pick between the Tudor Black Bay 58 or the Grand Seiko SBGN003, which one would it be? I'm curious, as I've been looking into both watches. So let me start off by saying right off the bat, both of these watches are phenomenal, and I don't think you can go wrong with either timepiece. I feel very blessed to actually have both of these watches in my rotation currently, and I can see why people compare them more now because they're about the same in price, although with the recent Rolex and Tudor price increases, I do think the Black Bay 58 will cost you about 300 more Canadian to get this watch. Both watches are also 39 millimeters, so they're very similar in dimension, and I think they both offer something unique depending on what you're looking for. So let's start off with the Tudor Black Bay 58 here on my left wrist. I think this is just a very great vintage-inspired dive watch. It's a three-hand movement, no added complications, very symmetrical, and very legible. I think the lume on this watch is fantastic. The bezel action is the best in the business, and the bracelet that it comes on is a lot better than the Grand Seiko bracelet, specifically at the clasp, which does have a micro adjustment, whereas the Grand Seiko does not. I think some people will value this watch more because it's also an in-house automatic movement with the caliber MT5402, which has a 70-hour power reserve. Of course, it's a COSC certified chronometer and keeps excellent time. And if you buy this watch new, you get a 5-year warranty to cover the movement and anything else on this watch. Okay, let's switch wrists and perspectives and talk about the Grand Seiko GMT watch that I have on my right wrist. So right off the bat, this is the best designed GMT watch that I've ever seen. I've owned a few diver or pilot inspired GMTs, and I found them a little too busy or a little too colorful. And this specific GMT that Grand Seiko designed just hits on all cylinders as far as design. You know, it's got a very nicely laid out GMT hand with a fixed 24-hour bezel. It's got a very legible and beautifully integrated date window at the 3 o'clock. And new for the Seiko 9F quartz caliber movements, they introduced the 9F86, which was designed specifically for these GMT watches. And yes, it is a quartz movement, and some people might dismiss this watch only for that reason, but I have to tell you, the finishing and attention to detail on this movement rivals what some of the big Swiss companies can do with their automatic movements. It's by far more accurate, within plus or minus 10 seconds per year. It's thermally compensated, and it's got a double pulse motor system that supports the integration of these amazingly executed hands and keeps it running for about 3 years. Now I do want to point out again, while the bracelet isn't bad on the Grand Seiko GMT, I just wish that they did a better job with some micro adjustment at the clasp. They have some half links, but it is still a little bit difficult to get that perfect size. So I tend to put this on a leather strap or something rubber if I want to go more sporty. Additionally, this is only covered with a 3-year warranty if you buy it new, but because again, this is a very robust quartz movement, I think your service intervals will actually be a lot less in the long run. So those are just some basic specs of both timepieces. If you're going to pick between one or the other, I think you also have to kind of look and see what's currently in your rotation as well. If you just want a very robust and nice vintage inspired dive watch, by all means, pick up the Black Bay 58. However, if you're looking for something that's just finished a lot better and has more useful complications like a date and GMT complication, then I would say go with the Grand Seiko. Now, if I can only choose one right now, based on purely where I'm at in my watch journey, and if you also throw logic out the window and you don't care about brand heritage or value retention, then I would actually pick the Grand Seiko GMT. And again, it's because I just appreciate the complications more. I find myself keep looking down at the dial and being impressed every time. It's just the level of finishing and execution with every Grand Seiko is amazing, and it really impresses me overall. Moreover, while I do really enjoy the Tudor Black Bay 58, there is a ton of affordable alternatives out there. There's homages and knockoffs to a lot of Tudors and Rolexes on the market. So I think you could kind of use other affordable alternatives as a good placeholder until you could afford a Tudor Black Bay. In the meantime, just shell out and buy the Grand Seiko GMT. But guys, everything I told you is just my humble opinion. Please leave in the comments below what your preference would be between these two timepieces and why. I love to see your guys' feedback, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video.